Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Not a Boring Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Diego Vasquez.
And I'm Ryan Domas. Oh, yeah. Totally.
All of a sudden.
Yeah. So I am famous. So how's Lent going for you? I'm sure it's going terrible.
You know what, man? Lent's actually been really good. Don't get me wrong. There's days like today when you need a drink. But, you know, I'm sure, you know, if you talk to anybody, it's all willpower. It's all, you know, of course, there's other things you could do and you don't need a drink, you know. So one part of you is dying to complain about it. Yeah. And then the other side is like, what are you complaining about? Life is good. You know, I'm getting transactions. Like, I mean, I just closed 2 escrows. I got 3-4 more coming up. Life is good. I mean, dude, it's the new year. Everybody, their excuses are gone. Yep. When it comes to, you know, I'll talk to you after the new year. So the holiday excuse is done and everybody's ready to get back to work, ready to buy houses, ready to sell houses. And so if you're not busy with escrows right now, you're not trying.
That's I think you got a really good point right there. They slept through winter. They hibernated.
I hibernated, man. I think the whole world hibernates during winter. Yeah. And, dude, you know, absolutely. Sun is shining. The weather is sweet.
That's Bob Marley lyric right there, bud.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw the Bob Marley movie the other day with our buddy, and we loved it, dude.
You liked it?
It was so good, and that movie moved me. That movie, the powerful bass guitar, everything was awesome, and I just got back from Vegas from Keller Williams Family Reunion.
And fun fact, ladies, my buddy's a bass player here, by the way. He's slapping the bass.
That's right. I played bass. Used to play bass in a rock reggae band, punk rock.
What was the name of the band?
Gigawatt. Like 1.21 gigawatts from Back to the Future. Gigawatt.
I love it.
My song was Soccer Girls. When I was 16, I wrote a song about the girls on the soccer team.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
as one should.
Yeah, no, for real. And I just got back from Keller Williams Family Reunion in Vegas.
Straight to business, you guys. So I wanted to talk to you about it. Go ahead. I don't want to.
Dude, let me just say that it would have been so tough for you during Lent. Like, if you go next year, your Lent's gonna have to be something besides alcohol, and definitely not steak. Because I had so much steak. I'm bloated. I'm fat. I got Wagyu coming out the wazoo now, dude. I ate so much steak, drank so much whiskey, but I had so much fun. I saw friends from Alaska, Arizona, Texas, Michigan. So great to reconnect with those friends that I see every year. But I learned so much, and now I'm like kicking myself in the behind because I see how much I lacked last year. So now I'm just like punching through forward this year. Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Gary Keller, Jay Papasan, so much freaking pouring into us. I've got a full cup and I'm going to pour into your cup.
Pour into my cup, bud.
Yeah, pour into your cup.
Yeah, not alcohol though.
No.
Yeah.
No, but it was awesome. And I think what I'll do is I'll do a top 3 things that I learned from Family Reunion.
So stay tuned, guys, because we're here to give you guys value as always.
That's right.
You know, with a little pinch of a good time.
That's right. And Diego's going to be talking about some stuff too.
Yeah. So Keller Williams Family Reunion. Of course, they did it on the weekend that Bad Bunny's playing.
Yes, and so the tickets were astronomical.
Like just for a room, like a night. Well, dude, what were you paying?
$700 a night.
And that's not including resort fee.
No, not the resort fee, not the valet, not the Uber. And not the,
Tinder dates.
Yeah, I missed out on the Mandalay Bay room block because I booked too late because I didn't know if I was going to make it. But I stayed at the Cosmo because your boy's a little bougie and he wants nice air quality.
Cosmo's awesome. I love the Cosmo.
It is the only hotel.
Did you try the Chandelier Bar?
Yes, I did.
Chandelier Bar.
Phenomenal.
Secret Pizza. Yes,
Secret Pizza was even better. He told me about this speakeasy pizza place. It's like down a hallway. You don't even know it's there until you smell it. Some of the best New York style slices I've had ever. It was
Secret Pizza. Good. It's a secret. It's not a secret. Who knows about it, but a speakeasy for pizza. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Not even like a speakeasy for alcohol. It's for pizza.
And the Chandelier Bar is so classy and nice. They have STK where I had some of the best Wagyu ever. I spent too much money on a meal I bought myself.
Yes, sir.
So the next night I did In-N-Out. Much better. Much better choice. But
speaking of the Chandelier Bar, I have a cool story there. So 1 year I went to Vegas with my mom.
Oh, man.
and she worked. I think I don't know if she still works for Aflac, but Aflac's super cool. They sell like a specific kind of type of like life insurance or accident insurance. They have like different types of insurances. It's almost like, the Hawaiian Gardens of insurance, right? Because they're not giving you the actual like homeowners insurance, that type of insurance. They have their own stuff.
Did you say Hawaiian?
They're the Hawaiian Gardens of insurance.
What?
Because you got Vegas and then you got Hawaiian Gardens.
That was so well put.
It took you a second, buddy.
Well put, man.
I'm like, hey, he noticed. All right, cool. And so, dude, she won like a sales contest one year, and they took the top salespeople to Vegas. They paid free, they paid the rooms for the Cosmo, took us out to dinner, took us out to a day club. I was at a day club in Vegas with my mother.
That's awesome. Dude, that is so cool.
That was sick, dude. So here I am grinding on some chick. Just so you know, I'm like 25 or something at the time. I'm like, yeah, getting it. And my mom's like, that's my boy. Like,
that's my boy. Cheering you on.
Cheering her son on in Vegas at a pool party. Hercules. That's my boy. Like,
oh, I love it.
Like, at least I know he's not gay. Like,
She's like, finally, it's confirmation.
It's a confirmation. Yeah. Shout out, mama. I love you. That was a great time. We had a blast, dude. We got limo service everywhere. I ended up at like a nightclub with her, she was like, I'm turning in, dude. And I ended up at a nightclub with all the people that were like my age there.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good time.
With the Aflac crowd. That's awesome, man. I remember you telling me about that trip and how much fun you had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was...
I had a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And now that it's been a long time. It happened a long time ago. So if my fiance is watching this, babe, this was before you're probably still in high school. So basically, I'll put it this way.
It wasn't last year, guys.
It wasn't.
Don't start counting the years.
This was a long time ago. This is like where you go to like run for president and it bites you in the butt.
Oh, sure.
So my mom had this boss. She was a good-looking older woman, and it was my mom's boss. And one thing led to another, and I'm in her room. Yeah. Ooh. And she makes a move on me, and I'm like, oh, it's happening. Mm-hmm. And then she second guessed everything and was like, hey, you know what? And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll go right now. I don't want to get my mom in trouble. So nothing actually happened. Yeah. Don't judge me for this stuff. We're all adults here. We're in Vegas. Inhibitions are lowered. And turns out she's married. Her husband showed up the next day, shook my hand. Hello there. How are you doing? Woo, buddy.
Well, it's good that she...
Yeah. Now has nothing to do with the Chandelier Bar. The reason I brought this whole thing up was the Chandelier Bar. They have this awesome drink called I don't know if the drink is called Verbenum, but there is this little flower that they call Verbenum.
You told me to get it. I didn't get it because you know me. I'm an old fashioned
Thank God you didn't get it. Yeah. I remember it because I that first time I remembered it tasted so good. Mm-hmm. And the second time I tried it tasted terrible. Like I couldn't even finish the drink. But it was so cool because there's this little flower that they put on there. You actually chew the flower up. Your whole mouth goes numb. It gives us this sensation. Wow. And your whole mouth goes numb and you drink the rest of the tequila, lemonade, whatever it is. Yeah, I remember it a lot better. If you try it again and you don't like it, don't blame me. But it's cool. It was a cool drink, cool experience. Oh, yeah. And Vegas, you guys. What a place to have an event like Keller Williams Family Reunion.
Dude, it was so awesome. And I think that there's two things that matter when you go to Vegas. There are two things that matter. Air quality, because some hotels smell like the Marlboro Man. And you gotta at least enjoy your air quality while you can get it. The Cosmo is the only hotel on the Strip with a balcony, so you get so much fresh air, smoke-free casino. But here's the thing: the second thing that matters is late night bites. And Diego hooked me up by telling me about the pizza place. It's open till like 5 a.m. You gotta have the late night bites. Guess what? Mandalay Bay, where the convention was, no late night bite. Late night bite. You got to have late night food if you come back
3 a.m. wasted.
Yeah, you're coming back to your room. You obviously had something to drink, and you got to eat some food. So thank you, bud, for telling me about the pizza place.
Because you probably showed up at 3 a.m.
There was even times where I laid down in bed and I was so hungry. I went downstairs, got pizza.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, fall asleep, wake up, and the pizza's like right next.
And then
to me.
egg slut is there too for the morning.
Yes.
Did you try the egg slut?
Egg slut, the best hash browns I think I've ever had in my life. They got the runny egg and the sandwich. You dip the hash browns in it. Oh my God.
Loved it.
It was like garlic Parmesan hash browns. You got to try them, folks. You got to do it. So those are the two, I think, most important things in Vegas. But I want to tell you about the 3 best things I've...
Yeah, not the gambling or anything else.
Dude, I didn't even... You know what? I didn't even gamble. And how weak is that?
I don't gamble when I go.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy myself something nice. It's like tax-free or something.
Yes.
I just go buy like a Gucci belt or something. I mean, I'm going to lose the money anyway. Might as well buy something nice.
Yeah. And you get the Uber XL so you can like lay down in the Escalade if you want.
Just take a nap.
Yeah, I'd rather pay for that than lose money at blackjack because everybody told me they were gambling was like, oh, I lost $500 last night. And they know when convention and Bad Bunny's in town, the table minimums were $100. And I'm like, come on. Like, I don't want to lose $100 on one hand. And walk
on
away.
one hand.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you, man, the 3 things that I pulled away from Family Reunion that mattered to me the most. Number 1, Mel Robbins. She has a principle called the 5-4-3-2-1 principle.
Okay.
And you know what that means is that when you're facing something that you're afraid to do, or you're scared of it, or you're neglecting it, and you know you got to do it anyway, you close your eyes and you count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In between 5 and 4, one part of your brain tells the subconscious part of your brain, I don't give a hell what's going on in your head. You're gonna freaking do what I'm telling you to do right now.
Okay.
It's like a self-hypnosis thing. And it kind of correlates a little bit. And it's sad to say this, but studies show that when people committed suicide and they were able to interview people that try to commit suicide, what was it that got them to pull the trigger? They counted down. To make the hardest decision in your life.
Dude, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of the seminar. Mm-hmm. You're probably a little hungover.
Yeah.
And right? Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
You guys did it in Vegas, not him. It's not his fault. And you're just sitting there and you're just probably like, this is a pretty good talk. Mm-hmm. And then she talks about suicide and the 5-4-3-2-1 principle.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
This is gold.
Yep.
I got to talk about this on the show.
And I couldn't wait to tell you. Guess what, Diego? This is what I'm going to do every morning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get on the Peloton, you fat mother.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, little David Goggins action there, right?
Yeah.
Put some Post-it notes and tell you you're a piece of crap on your mirror or whatever he does, which I'm sure works for some people. I don't want to look at the mirror and it tells me I'm a freaking fat fuck every day.
Okay, so Diego told me something so funny the other day. He was like, hey man, how's that Peloton going? Did it turn into a clothing rack yet? I love it when you say that because it pumps me up, man.
I hope so.
It's funny and it also gets me going like, oh yeah, I cannot let it just sit there. So I sent you a selfie this morning.
Yes, you did.
Me watching Seinfeld while I'm on the.
He didn't even have the fucking Peloton like TV on. This guy's, which I think should be the next step. I want you to get like one of those trainer people.
Yes.
That's like a freaking a 7 foot tall ripped black guy. That's like, come on guys, you can do it.
Yes.
Like get like a army drill instructor to just spank you, yes. or it's Ryan and maybe a hottie, with a body on there.
There's some hottie trainers.
I'm sure there is, bud.
Totally. They don't keep me accountable. I'm going to see you tomorrow, right?
Yeah, you're like, yeah. Yeah.
Your impression of me is always spot on.
Shit. Sorry. Fucking, it's one of these.
It's so true, man. I kind of wiggle a little bit.
What a dick.
Oh, man, it's so funny.
This is how you know we are friends.
Yeah, you got to make fun of your friends in front of their face or you're not really friends.
Yeah, what is it when they talk shit in front of your face and say good things behind your back, right?
Yes.
It's the epitome of our friendship.
That's how it works. So number 2.
Okay.
Number 2 is it has to do with branding yourself. And what they said is when you're branding yourself and you've got a brand to push, whether a real estate agent or a podcast, learn to serve yourself, which is basically, what do you like? What do you want to hear? What is it something that you can hear that you can use? And then he kept going, give me something to use. Give me something I could use. If you're on a reel, give me something I could use. Sure, do something funny. Sure, have a funny meme. But give me some advice I could use. And we've talked about that with the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Too. We've talked about that, how we need to have a goal in mind, and that goal is to serve us. This podcast that we're doing, it's to entertain people like us and educate.
Yeah.
And we have evolved so much we've evolved so much from a few old fashions too many, and still keeping it together, and guests that won't even pump the episode because they're so embarrassed about how
they look did. Or they were probably too drunk or I get it.
It happened, and look at us. We showed up. We didn't drink anything. We're pumped up. We're ready to rock, and we're saving the caffeine for later because we didn't want to be over pumped up for that. So that was number 2, bud.
Yeah, I like that. But so you're talking about branding, and you're also talking about what you're pushing, right?
Yeah.
So as far as branding is concerned, like maybe dive in a little bit more, like what, like anything specific that they said to do to your brand to make it stand out.
Yes, they said number 1, think of the competition that is doing it 10 times more than you.
Sure.
And if you already fed the beast money in terms of paying money to boost your posts, Instagram is starving now because you haven't fed them money, and they're going to cut down on your algorithm. So as soon as you start paying for ads and then you stop, they punish you. The algorithm does that. So that's another thing. And you know how we do reels, and we've talked about also kind of doing what we kind of talked, like the talking head thing. Here's 5 things to do. They said you need to do that beyond just a podcast. And it was so great because he used the model of a real estate agent with a podcast so this is how you hit YouTube. This is how you hit Instagram. And it's all in like this diamond chart.
Sure.
So that's something I'm going to send to you. That's something that maybe we send to the editor to put on the screen while I'm talking about it.
Sure.
But that's huge.
Or if you're interested, just DM this guy. We're real people.
Yeah.
Like you can reach out and say, hey, what's up? I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to buy your, whatever product you're selling. Maybe I do. I don't know, but just reach out.
And that's how we got Mikey Taylor on the podcast. I mean, you hit up Mikey Taylor about being on our podcast, and one of the most famous skaters of all time is like, yeah, sure. Let me know when.
Let's do it. Yeah, man. We got to do more of that too. But I mean, I'm liking this. I'm liking this dynamic because, like you said, it's got to serve us. We started off, we're like, well, we want to educate the masses. We want to get the top people in their fields to help you guys out. Well, we're the top people in our fields. And if I'm going to continue to invest my money into doing this, then I'm going to make sure that my people know that I'm here to help them. And other agents too. Like, I mean, again, I'm here, like, we're doing this as a labor of love, you guys. But of course, if this gets me some business, then all day.
Yes.
Right.
And
so
we've talked about it. Hey, it's not equal in dollar signs for us yet, but one day it will, because we're going to keep pushing towards that goal. So now that brings me to number 3.
Boom.
Have a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan and look at it every day.
Every day. How could you look at it every day?
Hey, put it right on your desk or right on your door of wherever you're going. It's got to be something you see every morning. It's not like something you look at 3:00 in the afternoon.
You know what I really want to do? This is like a dream of mine. Patent pending. I want to have a door size, like year-long calendar, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, all the way down to December, on like the size of a door, so I could literally write down what it is that I'm doing, whether it be, attending a wedding or a birthday or whatever. So I know what my schedule looks like for the rest of the year. And one good thing that they said that you can do is you can actually schedule around your vacations. Right. So if you're the type of person that just works all year and forgets about vacations, which there are many of those high performers, right? Yeah. And they just kind of end up letting life just become this rat race. Get your head out of the rat race by scheduling your vacation for the year first, or maybe even for next year. And then now you put it on your door-sized calendar, right? And you can say, oh, look, I see it every single day. I know it's coming up. I know that, like, I'm not going to forget about it, put it in the back of my mind, and all of a sudden, oh my God, the trip is here and I didn't do anything for it because I forgot about it. Now it's too late. I spent my money on other things. That's why I would like to have a big giant calendar like that in front of me.
A big giant calendar that goes on a door. That's actually really brilliant.
Right?
Patent pending, dude. Make it happen. If you're listening and you're an investor, contact this guy and put it together.
I got other ideas.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, man, right? Because then it's in front of you all day, every day.
Yeah. And that's, you literally explained it, because that's what it is. It's in front of you every day. And it's like, no matter what you put on that 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year plan, if you're still just want to play Call of Duty 24/7, 10 years from now, put it somewhere you see it every morning. Yeah. And, yeah, by the way, I started playing Call of Duty out of nowhere. I haven't played Call of Duty in like 5 years. I just got the game, and it's freaking addicting.
I love it, dude. I used to play a lot with my buddies when I was like still a bachelor, in our bachelor pad. It was like 3 of us. We're like each in our own room. I'm on a PC, like some nerd. And now I just feel so guilty. I feel so guilty if I were to even turn it on. And, it's kind of like riding a bike, right? Where you're like, you're nervous. So I'm like, I'm not going to play. And I don't even think about it anymore. But I used to love playing Call of Duty, man. What a great time to just hang out and talk crap with your friends.
Yes. And do you know that they actually say that if you play a video game in the morning with your first cup of coffee, you're stimulating parts of your brain quicker than you normally would without it? So I advocate. Play a little. And you know who told me some of this? Mama D.
Mama D. Shout out Linda Domus.
That's my mom, and she plays Sudoku every morning, like it's 6:30 a.m. before she goes to the gym. She's like, I go to the gym by 8 a.m. But, she's on it more than we are. She's like, I go to the gym every day at 8 a.m. But before that, I'm playing Sudoku. And she's like, I'm playing my video game. She goes, do you play Madden or any of your games in the morning? And I was like, yeah, Mom. It was like, wait a freaking go.
Is it weird that I'm kind of excited to get old to the point where you like wake up at like 4 a.m. every day?
Yeah.
I want to be that old where it's like, you're like, oh, my bones ache if I don't wake up at the crack of fucking dawn every day and do 10 things before you've even woken up.
Yes. One of my clients says, I love waking up at 4 a.m. You know why? Because my wife gets up at 6.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the most quietest hours I get to experience, and he loves it.
Bree hates that type of comedy, that like male just joking comedy.
I'm sorry, Bree.
I know, because I love those jokes. She's like, oh, you're freaking sexist jokes. I hate them. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Dude, shout out to Bree. You take care of my boy. He loves you. You're so good to him. And I love to see how you take care of him and the baby boy.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, my God. Okay, that video of him eating blueberries the other day. He's so
kid, right?
cute. He's so cute. It's not even fair to the other babies.
He's a good-looking kid, man.
He's got your dad's. He's got this calmness about him where he's just like cerebral. He looks at people. He judges them. He kind of goes
like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just talking to our boy Bobby.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Bobby, awesome trainer out UFC gym. He's in Brea now. And that guy, he's such a good person. But I was talking to him, man, and oh my God, like he has 3 kids. He just had his 3rd. Again, we're living in California. He's a gym trainer. I doubt he's, killing it. But, look, number one, it's a tough economy. It's tough out there. I mean, you go out to buy some groceries and you spend like $500.
Yes.
Right. And again, for 3 kids. And what he just told me, I had no idea. It's just him and his wife, and they have no family, no help with 3 kids. Dude, I thought it was tough for Bree with 1, and I don't compare, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But with 1, with our baby, he's awesome. He's a good time. But when you're home and he's bored, I'm sure he's like just being a nut. Imagine 3 kids screaming at you at the same time and never having just an hour to yourself. Like where somebody, or going on a date.
Oh, dude.
Can't even go on a date.
I can't imagine dating girls right now and having a kid at home.
I couldn't imagine having to lug 3 kids around and trying to have like just a lunch.
Oh my God.
So shout out to Bobby, shout out to your girl, you guys, and all parents out there. Like, it's tough, and it's even tougher when you're all on your own. You got no friends or family that you trust enough to leave your kids with. And who wants to leave 3 kids with anybody? That's like a death sentence to people.
It is, dude. It is. Yeah, you're right, dude. Shout out to Bobby. He is the man, best kickboxing trainer in the world.
Oh yeah, super awesome. And again, Bree, I love you. Thank you. I'm super happy. And back to the show.
Hell yeah.
It's just lit a fire under my ass. Ryan and I, we talk as much as we can about how to better ourselves, how to better the show, and just be better people. And, I talked about it with him where I know I let my foot off the gas at the end of the year last year, right? It was rough. I killed it. I mean, from January to September, I was on it. I was the man. I freaking just crushed it. And September rolls around, I probably had like maybe 2 listings and a buyer. So I knew like there was money coming in. And I'm like, more will come trickle in between now and then. Yeah. And boy, did I have a nuclear winter, man. I mean, what I should have done, and this is what I'm hoping to tell you guys and impress upon this to you so you don't make the same mistake I did, which is do not let your foot off the gas. No. Okay? Because deals fall through. Mm-hmm. And the ones that you think are going to close might not close. And the ones that you think might close. So if I could just impress upon one thing is that once that momentum's gone, it's hard to kick it back on.
It's so hard.
Right? So, in September, I'm like starting to slow down. I'm like counting the money that I already have. That's, you're already counting your chicks before you hatch. Yep. That was my first mistake. Right. And then come October, you know what? It got, something happened. Now it's going to close in November. November comes around. The deals fall through. Everything. That was like 60 grand that fell through. Mm-hmm. And now you're sitting there like, oh, this is going to be a rough winter. Mm-hmm. So now you're trying to get back to work, but it's like you're in quicksand because it's the holidays, and we already know nobody wants to talk about this stuff on the holidays.
No, they don't. And that's a good point because escrows can fall out for the dumbest reasons. I had an escrow fall out because when the buyer read the disclosures, it said a cat lived here in 1996.
You're serious.
To 2015. And it was like 3 years later. It was like 2018. And they're like, oh, cat not here for 3 years. Doesn't matter. Like, we're so allergic to cats. And it was like, okay, same carpet, whatever. Just change the carpet. No. Pulled out an escrow. That was it. Now, here's how I saved something. We did a we did a seller's home inspection, what we call a pre-inspection. Mm-hmm. So before the home's even marketed, we went in there and we inspected the property and we covered the cost of the home inspection. When we go on a listing appointment, we say, we're one of those few agents that's actually going to pay for a home inspection before we even market the property. So all the skeletons are out of the closet. Inspector that day goes, hey, Ryan, I didn't know this home was on septic. What?
Whoa.
What? Call up the sellers. Hey, this home's on septic? Yeah. So how long has it been since you pumped it? Oh, we never pumped it.
Ever.
Oh, wow. So we're going to need a certification because your lender's going to probably ask for one and your insurance company's going to probably want a septic certification on file. Okay. Septic company comes out. Hey, so it's going to cost anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000 in repairs.
Oh, easy.
To do this, and
because they've never pumped it once. And how long did they own it?
They owned it for about 40 years.
40 years, never been pumped, and they never smelled anything.
Nothing. And here's nothing. And luckily, it was just 2 people living in the property.
But 40 years.
Yeah, for 40 years.
Do they poop in cups or what?
Right. And here's this: the septic company was like, okay, it's going to cost between $10,000 to $30,000 to fix the issues here, but I've got some bad news for you. There's some parts required here. One of those parts you need, it's going to be
doesn't exist anymore.
It's going to be about 6 weeks to wait for this part to show up. And we're like, oh my God, okay, well, we're not even launching this home until like a week from now. We got probably 4 weeks for an escrow period. Whoa, dude. We disclosed everything to the buyer. And we said, here's the deposit amount for the $10,000 deposit to fix it. They signed off on it.
That's your problem now.
It's your problem now. The septic issue was solved a week after escrow closed. They finally did it a week after escrow closed.
What was the final number?
Dude, I think.
Or do you not even know?
22,000.
Okay, but the buyer came up with that.
Yeah, no. This is all the seller.
Seller had it.
And they tore up a bunch of the grass and they cracked some of the driveway. They cracked some pavers, and now the seller is going to have to fork over money to do that.
Ooh.
So
double check if you got a septic. Get a free home inspection.
Yeah,
there's realtors out there that'll do it. We'll do it.
Yep, that's it. That's what we say. We will pay for your home inspection before you even list the home to make sure that all these problems are solved. If we didn't do that, I guarantee it would have blew up our deal. So there you go, bud.
1,000%, dude.
So I back you up on that.
And speaking of that, I just dealt with that recently with, I sent over a referral up to Fresno. Good friend of mine. It's his parents. They had a death in the family. It was the grandfather. So, inheriting the property. They want nothing to do with it. Long story short, we knew it had septic, and the agent forgot to remove the septic cert. So basically that ended up costing them about like 10, 12,000. Oh. She had to give up some of our commission because of her mistake. So
That's a real shitty problem.
I was like, you suck, but it's my fault for choosing you. So whatever, I got to eat it too. So yeah, man, it's a lot more, it happens a lot more than you think. Mm-hmm. So yes, get those inspections done. It's just an important part of the process. I mean, we end up getting screwed.
Yeah, because a septic tank is always a shitty problem.
I see what you did there. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, again, it was a rough winter, and but again, like as soon as January hits, it's like everybody's coming out the woodwork.
Yeah.
I mean, and people have been. There's been a pent up demand, mm-hmm. right? Because the rates are so high, but. Like that's why, like I said, if you're not busy with escrows, you're not trying, because there is a ton of business out there just waiting. But what is it? They're waiting to give you their money, mm-hmm. right? Are you man enough to take it? Mm-hmm. Do you have brass balls? Takes brass balls.
Like Gary Glenn Ross.
We love it. Yeah. People are they're waiting to buy their house, and they're just waiting for you to explain to them why it's better to do it now versus later, mm-hmm. right? If you qualify to buy a house and you're not at least trying to buy a house right now, then you haven't been educated enough. So allow me to educate you.
Yes.
So what would you prefer? You either buy the house now. Yes, their rate is high, and there's no sugarcoating it. If you buy an $800,000 home, If you buy an $800,000 home, your payment is going to be roughly $6,000 if you only have like 5% down, which is like 40 grand. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't have that much money, so they can only put 5% down, which is $40,000 plus closing costs. Let's say another 15. That's 55 grand on the low end, and your payment is going to be $6,000 or more.
Oh my God. That's right, because 5% are back. I remember when 5% went away for a while.
Yeah.
And then it came back, but your monthly payment is woof.
I mean, even with 20% down, your payment's still going to be right around $5,000
because of that interest rate.
Because the rates are high.
Yeah.
But so again, am I saying it's easy? No. I'm saying if you do qualify, if you can afford the payment and you're not trying to buy right now, you're screwing up. Mm-hmm. Because what's the opposite end of the spectrum, right? What happens if you wait for the rates to come down? Okay, now your payment, which I don't think they're going to go down to 2 again, right? So let's say 4. Okay, your payment it's stomachable. Let's say you're in the $3,000 range, maybe low 4,000s, right? Yeah. Okay, that's great. But now you're going to have to go $100,000 above asking. Why would you have to go $100,000 above asking when the rates go down, Ryan?
Oh my God, because there's going to be so much competition on the house. Everybody's going to want that house now that the rates are low.
So now you got 50 offers to one house, right? And now you're getting outbid by everybody and their mother, mm-hmm. or because other people might want that house more. They just have more funds than you do. So now you're stuck with the bottom of the barrel. You're overpaying for the bottom of the barrel house still by like 50 G's, maybe more. Mm-hmm. And now let's say you do your inspections. No. And your inspections come back and the plumbing's messed up, and the roof is leaking, and the heating, the heater caught on fire 5 years ago. Oh my God. Right. And
they forgot they were on a septic.
And they forgot they were on a septic for 40 years. And they're saying, well, I got 50 other offers, take it or leave it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now you overpaid for a house that is. And so what are you going to do? You're probably going to cancel. And then you still have no home.
Yeah. Still, and also what happens when rates go down? Inventory shrinks because suddenly Rick and Betsy and Bob and Phyllis and all these Al and Kathy, they're like, oh well, honey, the rates are at 3%. Well, why don't we just fix up the kitchen and stay here another 10 years in this 6,000 square foot house? It's too big for us because baby boomers will not move. Please move, baby boomers. Please move. You feed his kid. You pay for my tomahawk steak. Yeah. Please move.
Become an expat. You guys talk enough crap about the U.S. anyway. Yeah. Just go to Mexico. Show them a thing or two, right? They're coming here. You go over there. Call it a day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. No. And so, again, that's why I recommend if if you can afford a payment and you say, I got some money saved, I'm ready to do this, then you say, perfect, let's get you into a house now. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be tough. It's supposed to be tough on your finances. But if you can't afford it and you qualify, get into the house now. Yes, your payment's going to suck for the next 6 months to a year or two. Hopefully they come down, right? We don't have a crystal ball, but everybody's saying, all the experts are saying that the rates are going to come down. Yeah. And when they do, you just refinance. You already have the house. And again, right now I can negotiate for you to get those repairs fixed.
Yes. As California gets worse, it helps our business, which is it's like we don't want to have problems in California, but is more homeless problems, more immigration problems, more heroin needles on the street show up, more people leave and sell their house and make us more money. So it's like we don't want it to happen, but if they start dropping like homeless people out of the sky, I mean, our business goes up. So it's like we don't want those problems, but
it's now if I can only make a clone of myself, right, and make the California money here, and then just leave California. But again, like who wants to leave California? Like what I was saying with the baby, we have family here. Yeah. I like if we want to go on a date, we can get my mom or her cousin or my cousin to come watch the baby for a few hours. Or you move to Texas, which, I would love. Texas is awesome. I've been to Texas, right? But who wants to leave Cali, really? Oh, I mean, politics, dirty needles, say what you want. Mm-hmm. It's Cali.
It's Cali, dude. I live 10 minutes from the beach in Laguna, dude. It's beautiful.
They literally made a show about where this guy lives.
Yeah, literally.
California.
I love that show.
California. All right, anyway, there's probably people watching this that don't know what that is.
No, man, absolutely. And cruising PCH is so beautiful. But if you are
especially in a brand new AMG you got the AMG, you got the what is it called, the G wagon.
I got the G550.
Okay,
G wagon. Okay, I love it. Black, and black interior with a little red accent on there. I freaking love that car, dude. I finally got the damn car. So now I got to work my ass off.
You're like one of those influencers, right? You're like, hey, I'm an influencer. I got a freaking G-Wagon. I write it off on my taxes like everybody said that you're supposed to do because it's like a 12-ton vehicle or something, right?
Yeah, and me and Jake were calculating how much I actually spend a month because it's like $9 miles per gallon. It's so bad.
And you drive so much.
And I drive so much, and I drive the speed limit.
You might as well be driving like Corona to Long Beach.
I know. And I love how you guys tease me for driving speed limit.
Yeah, this guy drives like like literally Miss Daisy would love his driving. Right,
You can tell I used to be an Uber driver before I got into real estate.
No way. If you were my Uber driver, you'd get no stars, bro.
No stars.
I would complain about it. I'd be like, this guy, dude. I was late for 3 appointments because of him. You're anyway. So again, like right now, we're trying to help everybody out. We want you as a buyer or a seller to understand, like, hey, like, we're going to take care of you. We want you to educate yourself on the process. And ultimately, we just want you to financially be in a good place for you and your family. Yes. If you're a realtor or a loan officer, same thing. We want to help you. We want to help you take control of your clients that keep telling you to lowball offer by like $200,000 on a house that has competition.
Yes.
Explain to them, say, hey, listen, dude, look, I want to help you get this house and I want you to get a good deal as well. Mm-hmm. But based on the days on market, right? It's been on the market for 2 days, and there's already you went to the open house and you saw 50 people in the open house. Do you really think they're going to accept an offer for $200,000, even $20,000 under asking? No. This is California. You want to live in California. Again, I get it. You want to get a good deal. You think you're like some sort of salesman or something. You think you want to get one over on the guy. I'll tell you what, why don't you offer asking or do whatever it takes to get the property, right? Maybe you have to go a little bit above. Maybe your realtor, which we'll talk about communication in a second, needs to communicate better, right? But ultimately, like once you're in escrow, that's when the gloves come off.
That's when the gloves come off, baby.
The gloves come off once I'm in escrow. Once I say, okay, cool, now I have my inspection contingency. Usually I cut it short. It's only like 7 days. But in those 7 days, I'm getting the home inspection, the plumber, the heating, ventilation, and air, the HVAC, the electrician, roofer, I want to get as many people in there as I can. So that way, when they give me quotes and it totals up like 30 grand, right now I can negotiate for them to either drop the price or better yet, give me credit so I can buy down the interest rate, pay all the closing costs. Like with a bit of luck, all you have to do is come in with your down payment.
Yep. And I think bread and butter is 7-day inspection contingency, 14-day loan contingency, 21-day escrow. I'm done with 30-day escrows. I told all the buyers when they asked me on the listing in La Habra Heights, what can I do to make my offer better? I said, I really don't tell you where to put your offer, but do everybody a favor and give us a 21-day escrow. Because I know that, unlike the best lenders in the world, John Soricelli and Brian up in the house over here. Hey,
buddy.
Who knows how to close loans on time. Some of these bigger banks like Wells Fargo, they take 30, 35, 45 days when they see that 30. And it's like I say, do a 21-day escrow.
With John Soricelli.
Yes, absolutely. This is the perfect time to mention him, by the way. We are in Huntington Beach, California, right next to Main Street, right next to Diego's old stopping grounds of Baja Sharkies.
A lot of beers and vodkas were vomited in this very alleyway.
The fish bowls are so good.
Just flowing fish bowls.
Yep, at John Soricelli's office, right here, the best lender in Orange County that you need to call and schedule him right away. I'm gonna pull up.
Make sure you have his phone number. His @ is the John Sor. John JOHNSOR, short for Soricelli. You don't got to remember that. Just the John Sor.
That's right. So dial him up at 714-599-1169. That's 714-599-1969. John Soricelli, best lender in the world. Hit him up for a loan.
We gotta
get some like good funky
some like this. All right. So we were talking about how we can get our offer accepted in a sea of 30 different offers, right? Especially when it comes to like just again these very the properties that like somebody really wants, especially if it's your dream home. It's probably 30 other people's dream home, right? And somebody might want it more than you. But let's just say, like, even playing field, there's a max. Unless you got cash, there's, the property's only going to appraise for so much. So once everybody's reached that ceiling, what would set me apart from 30 other offers?
That's such a great question. What's going to set me apart beyond what's on the piece of paper, right? Calling me and saying, I'm writing an offer. Is there anything I can do to make my offer better? Just calling. Thank you. It's like there's a voice to the business card that was left on the kitchen counter. Now we have a rapport. You sound polite. You're actually actively dialing a phone and being anticipatory on things. That means you're going to probably be good during escrow.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times somebody writes an offer, emails it, texts us 3 days later after we've already accepted an offer and goes, hey, did you get my offer? Didn't even call, sent a text. And so we even put on the MLS, when you submit an offer, please call this number to verify your offer has been received.
Wow.
Some of them don't even read that thing.
You're probably the only one that I've ever heard of doing that.
It's on a $1.6 million house. You know how many people wrote an offer and didn't even call and said, hey, did you receive it?
Anybody out of state's like a $1.6 million house. That's actually pretty normal. Yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And I would go as far as saying, in the very short amount of time, it's very concise. You have to somehow find common ground.
Yes, you do.
Right? Get them to like you in 10 seconds flat, basically, which maybe your agent can't do that. Like maybe they don't have the capacity to be likable whether it's an hour or 10 minutes, right? But you need to be likable. Like whenever I'm writing offers, and knock on wood, I want to say I get lucky, but I know it's skill. And the reason is I call them and I'm the coolest, most friendliest guy that you could possibly, and hopefully it doesn't rub them all the wrong way. I think it's the opposite. I think they like me, and they're like, "Wow, this kid's got spunk. He's kind of funny. He's cool. He's to the point. He's not like trying to be my best friend. Like he's just being polite. Hey, how are you doing? Oh no, that's great to hear. Thank you so much. You know what? My client absolutely loves your house. We want either we want to see it, or I'm gonna write an offer, and it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be a short escrow. We're not here to play games. We really really want this house. I'm gonna write the offer as is." and depending on the house, right?
Yeah.
And that just it pays dividends, bro.
It totally does. And I like the way you put it. I get them to like you in 10 seconds. Because it's like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. I just want to, like, oh, you're already, remember how you talk, like, you apologize and you show right away you would value their time. You tell them who you are and what you're going to do. Boom.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, wow.
He's quick. He's like, he knows what it's almost like he practiced what he was going to say.
Yes.
Right? Because you don't want to be sitting there like, oh, well, we have a great loan team, and you're going to pick us, right? Like, I already don't like you. Like, now I'm just not going to, like, so don't ruin it either. No. Some people just don't have the capacity. They could try to do what I'm telling them and they just like fall on their face.
Yes.
So it just depends. Like, if you're choosing an agent, make sure like, I don't want to say just to be likable, because there's so many people that you don't need to be likable. You just need to be a great agent. Yes. But like, I know, like in my head, if I have, like when I have a listing, I'm like, number one, price, and it's always up to the seller. Mm-hmm. But like, if I, say, you know what, but I feel more comfortable with this person because their communication, because like I kind of sniffed past their BS, or they're just like they're maybe a little bit more likable.
Yes, well,
like I would have a beer with them.
Okay, that's perfect. That's why they said so many people voted for Trump over Hillary Clinton, because they felt like they could have a beer with Trump.
Is that what it was?
Same thing with Al Gore and George Bush Jr. was like, I felt like I could have a beer with George Bush. So many of that is, I feel like I could have a beer with you. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so important, man. And because it's Lent, I feel like I could have a Vietnamese coffee. Anytime not on Lent. Craving, by the way. We got to hook Brian up with a coffee.
I'm so dehydrated from that Vietnamese coffee I drank, man. That stuff is crack. It is crack, dude.
It is good stuff. So I think I believe the last thing we wanted to talk about was why we don't talk about buying a house when we're in escrow.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Thank you. You reminded me of that.
Yes. And about if you're a buyer and you're in escrow and you've got 30 days counting down, why you don't tell mom, dad, Uncle Rick, Aunt Betsy, cousin Bob, who has so much advice but never bought a house.
Yeah, dude. I recently, I had a client, and this guy knows what he wants. Mm-hmm. This guy, he's the type, before he got married, he bought his first home. It was a crappy home in Lake Elsinore, and he fixed it up really nice. Fast forward, he's got a beautiful family, wife and his firstborn child, and I'm so proud of him. And he reaches out and he's kind of like, hey, like, whoa, like, what's going on? And I'm like, man, I got the perfect house for you, because he's talking about he wanted a ranch, dream home. Boom, I sent it to him. He's like, yeah, let's go look at it. So we go look at it, and he's like, cool, I just need to list my property. And I'm like, cool. As realtors, it's especially in this market, it's in a lot of markets, it's tough to be contingent.
It is.
When you're trying to, especially here in California, if you're contingent on selling your property, I don't want to say you're lowest on the totem pole, but for sure, if they can find somebody who can get a 21-day escrow, they'd rather have that person.
They would much rather do that.
So I'm like, hey, you know what? Crack my fingers. Let's get to work. And so that house didn't actually end up working out. There was just it was just a lot of work for that one. We end up finding another property that's just as good. If anything, the interior of the house was actually better.
Please don't tell me they told their family they were buying.
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? So now I'm like, cool, we got the listing sign. We're gonna go, because we're getting this offer. Boom, I get the offer accepted. So now the trifecta, right? I have a listing. We're gonna help them out with the loan, and we're getting the for the buyer.
They're getting a new house.
They're getting a new house
in
Norco, which has been his lifelong dream to have a ranch in Norco with horses on it.
And he's almost there.
He's
almost there.
You can feel it.
And then what happened?
And then he's like, well, so I get a text message at 6 a.m. Can you talk? So you already
can you talk? That's never good. Relationship, dating, and
can you talk is one thing. Can you talk at 6 a.m.?
Oh no! He slept on it and thought about it.
So no, that wasn't it. The case was he told me he left his wife at her parents' house with her sister and I don't know who else. And of course, you just as anybody would do, you go, hey guys, we're about to buy a house. What do you think? And man, you know what? Family and friends kill more dreams than an alarm clock.
They really do.
Like, I mean, they speak from, and they mean well, but they speak from their own experiences and their own fears. Mm-hmm. And what they really mean to tell you, like when they're saying, oh, what houses are really expensive right now. You should wait till the market crashes again. Right? That's one. That's a huge one. I'm sure all realtors are laughing at that one right now because, like, this is not 2008. It's a lot harder to get a loan, which is good for you guys because, again, it means that you actually qualify. So that is not happening again. Or they say, well, why don't you just save up and buy another house? Why do you have to sell this house to buy another one? And what they don't understand is, and what they're basically saying is that they're uneducated.
Is that what they told him?
That's exactly what they said. They said, why would you sell this perfectly good house in Lake Elsinore that you don't even want to live in, right?
Why would you sell it even though you're so ready to sell it?
Yeah, and move into your dream home.
So, isn't that suck that that's his dream and yet he's taking somebody's freaking advice and letting
He didn't take the advice. The wife did.
You know how that happened. You know what goes on there.
Well, I'm sure she was just like, not, yeah, no, yeah, and so he was really reluctant, man. He's like, man, you know, and I feel bad because, you know, the professionals, the people that are in the business that see this stuff every single day, it's very easy, and he understands. I'm not knocking him at all. He's just, you got a wife and you got happy wife, happy life, and it sucks that it's holding him back, and I know it's eating him inside, but this is why we tell you not to talk to your family, or at least people that are like, you don't share big dreams with small people.
No. The best way to do it is this: Mom, Dad, Uncle Bernie, we're gonna go look for a house. Do all that other shit, and then all of a sudden one day go, surprise, we bought a house.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Really?
Literally, one of my clients that we just closed.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Her uncle referred me, and he told her, do not tell your aunts that you're even buying a house. Oh, no. Don't even tell them you're looking. Don't tell them anything.
Oh, wow.
Don't even tell them you're looking.
Just go one day. Hey, guess what?
Yeah. He's like, because they will ruin it for you.
Okay, just like we're having a baby. Like you didn't say you're
trying.
You're like, hey, just so you know, yeah.
Why? Yeah. Right. They're gonna tell you not to do it.
Yeah,
right.
Don't do it. Yeah. Is it there yet? Did it happen yet? Yeah. Okay, I get it.
Because again, what happens is they mean well, but they go, don't do it because of this. And again, they're just uneducated. They don't understand that if they don't do this today, when they can, while they can, they're gonna be stuck in that house forever because that same $700,000 ranch in Norco that has over a half an acre, if not, it might have been an acre.
Yeah.
That now that same $700,000 ranch is going to cost over $1 million.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, in 3 years, I don't think the chances of him ever getting that thing
to save up that much to buy a house, and you know what I'm saying? Yep. He could have had a $300,000 down payment on this property. His payment would have been nothing. He would refinance when it comes time to, and now he has a great payment on an amazing home, and then go buy the investment property.
So now they're stuck in Elsinore.
Now you're stuck in Elsinore, which, it's a whole story. And again, I'm just using this example to first off let agents know when they're pre-qualified, right? I've gotten into the habit ever since. I've done it before. I'm like, hey, don't tell anybody. But now for sure, like, it just reminded me, like, explain to your buyers, hey, just, I don't know your situation, but a lot, every time somebody gets qualified to buy a house, everybody becomes a real estate professional around them, right? You have your uncles, you have your aunt, you have your sister, your parents, unless they have purchased a house in like the last 12 months, the last 6 months, honestly, but don't get me wrong. In the last 12 months, don't take their advice, and unless they're positive people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Don't take advice from pessimistic people, which they often are.
Yeah. Whether it's buying a house or starting a business or getting a new haircut, don't talk to somebody who doesn't believe in you or believe in themselves for that much. And if they don't even own a house, what are we doing talking about it?
And you made a really good point. It's out of love that they tell them don't do this because they want the best for you, but you know the best for you, especially when it comes to buying a house.
Yeah, and you're already scared. It's a scary process. Yeah. And you want I get it. You want a non-biased opinion. If you ask a realtor, right, they're like, if you go to a barber, you're going to get your hair cut, right? Yeah. So I understand where you don't want to go straight to a realtor.
Good analogy. I like that.
Yeah. So I understand that, but talk to someone who's done this, who is like in the last 12 months, not 30 years ago when houses were freaking 30 grand, right? Like I'm talking about someone who like literally just went through this crazy market and can say, hey, you know what? It's not going to be easy. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. You're not going to get the house of your dreams in California on your first time. Mm-hmm. But if you just get started, get into the house. We've been in our house for 12 months or 24 months, and I've already gained $200K in equity. So God forbid something happens to me or I need to sell this house. I made $200,000 for a place that I would have been renting anyway, paying the money no matter what. Yeah. But at least now I live in something that is paying dividends.
Absolutely.
And there's tax breaks for it. It's like having a kid when you do your taxes. I'm no CPA, but.
No, and it's like being a doctor. You're going to listen to what the doctor's diagnosis is. You're not going to ask your uncle or your aunt, is this benign or is it something I need to get rid of?
What's this lump over here? Do you think it's cancer?
Yeah, you're going to listen to the doctor, and I think that's maybe where our mindset needs to be, is that we're diagnosing the issues and the remedy is that new house.
Yeah. And I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask
Don't listen to your aunt who uses essential oils.
I'm not going to ask for fitness advice from an obese person, just like I'm not going to take advice on childbirth from a man. Like it just doesn't work that way.
No.
Again, everybody has their own journey. Just seek a support system.
Absolutely.
Right? You want support because, again, anything in life, if you're starting a business, if you're starting a fitness journey, whatever it is, you want to look up to someone who's where you want to be. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would leave it with. I would say, hey, if you want to do anything that's not what you're currently doing, look for someone that is doing it successfully and model after them. Mm-hmm. If you actually have contact with this person, I don't care if, hey, dude, I'll buy you coffee. Can I just talk to you for a bit? Like this is how we want to get ahead in 2024. We don't want to just recreate the wheel or reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
We want to see somebody who's driving the badass, G-Wagon and ask them, hey, how do you get so many listings? How do you close so many listings? Because it's not just about getting the appointment. It's about closing it, and it's about executing, and it's about those things that you guys do that are tried and true, like, dealing with your farm, and in your case, paying for an inspection up front. How many of you cheap agents, all you discount agents,
they're listing photos with their cell phone.
Yeah. And
white too, like this.
Yeah, you take your listing photos with your cell phone. You probably didn't have any money to even get this listing, and somehow, now you're asking for, $500 to borrow so you can pay for the photographer if you do get a photographer. Like, there are people that have been doing this for a while.
I don't even use Banaka like I do. It's this Listerine spray that's so damn good. Honestly, I bring this to every appointment. You got to have fresh breath. You might not even be doing that.
You might have smelly breath on your listing appointment.
Mama D taught me, dude. She was like, you got to have breath mints or gum on every freaking appointment.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You don't be bad breathing people out.
Again, thankfully, you grew up in a real estate household, man. What was that like? Like, as a young kid, like, would you go to open houses with your parents?
I told my parents that I would rather go to prison or sleep in my car than ever get into real estate. And getting into real estate was the best decision I've ever freaking made, dude. I eat those words every day. She still reminds me of it. And I was like, yeah, but it's just because, like, they looked busy, and I didn't know that as a 5-year-old, like, if you're busy, you're actually happy and your work getting things done.
You're like, why aren't they playing with me?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I know, and also I'm still learning about time management, but nobody managed time better than my parents in terms of spending time with me and getting their work done. And we're the kings of our own schedule, basically.
Yeah, man.
Thank God.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
So you grew up around their, like, them time blocking.
Yeah.
My
mom had something called a day runner, and she would write down what she's doing that day. Or basically,
like a planner, basically, right?
What's doing the next day. She'd write down, okay, what am I doing this week? What day of the week and what time of the week am I going to get groceries? Before I pick up Ryan from school. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's like basically like a snowball effect, or like just a bunch of tiny wins, a bunch of small wins throughout the day that turn into big accomplishments after years and years and years in the business.
Yeah, man.
I mean, your mom. She's like, you can tell, like, she put in the work. and it's still paying dividends to this day.
Oh, and by the way, we want to do a brunch with you and Bree and the baby.
I'd love to, bro. You know we love Mama D.
She's like, I'm tired of looking at these photos and not being able to hold that baby.
Yeah, man.
So we're gonna hang out with the little guy, dude. What a great episode. This was awesome. We talked. I think we covered everything we wanted to talk today. That week, way to go, man. Then shout out to John Soricelli and our handsome producer Brian over there on the controls.
I don't know why he's behind the camera. Like I should be in the front of the camera.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, this was fun, and we're gonna be doing a lot more of these.
Yes.
And so please like us, follow us, slide into every DM. As if you're single, guy or girl, slide into all those DMs and tell everybody that you listen to our podcast, because I guarantee it's going to get you points scored on the board, my friend.
Yeah. Dude, this is to make you a better human being.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want to listen to this? And it's cool. Like I just watched the one thing.
Yeah.
Or the one.
Gary
Keller's podcast.
Papa's on, yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. That was boring, bro. It was terrible.
I love those guys so much.
I know. I couldn't listen to it. At least with I guess because it's us, I'm biased, but there's other podcasts that I'm I watch the Joe Rogan podcast, and it's I can listen to it in the car as long as I need to. Yep. The second I turned this on, I was like, ugh, just a lot of ass kissing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I gotta say something good, dude. Mark Willis, our CEO,
sure, Keller Williams CEO,
our CEO, Mark Willis, is back. And he was with the company, left about 8 years ago, and he's back. He's one of Gary Keller's best friends, grew up with Gary. He's the big reason why we even came to Keller Williams in the first place. And we were so upset when he left. And now he's back, and he's got a clear vision, and he's got a big heart, dude. Just think of Tommy Lee Jones, but handsome like Harrison Ford. So he talks like Tommy Lee Jones, but he's like a gentleman.
I was thinking of Tommy Lee, and then I was thinking of I was a big heart and a big.
Mark Willis is like the man. He's got a
Tommy Lee Jones.
I took it. So Mark Willis, I got a picture of him with the podcast shirt on.
Nice.
So I had to do it right.
Yeah, buddy.
And then I got a picture with Mel Robbins.
Yeah, buddy.
With Newman.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
You're fun, bud.
Well, dude, we're going to do this again. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Leave us a comment. Whether it's positive or negative, Donald Trump proved that even negative comments will get you more attention. So you can roast us. We don't mind a good roasting.
Yeah, roast away. If you watched all the way to the end of this, do us a favor. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe, or just tag a friend on one of our posts.
Yeah, it really goes a long way.
Send the YouTube link to someone. Just say, hey, check this out real quick. Even if they're not going to watch it, just send it to them. You're doing us a huge favor with the algorithm, because it's saying, oh, wow, people are sharing this stuff. It must be good.
Yes. And you could even DM us or leave a comment that asks whether or not I got on the Peloton that day, because the answer better be yes.
Put them to work, man.
If you don't work, tell me to get
I want to, next time we, hopefully it doesn't take that long, but next time, we hop on a podcast, you can see some.
There's a reason why we look different than we did a year ago.
God, I know. I've been putting in the work, but I dug such a big hole.
Oh man, well, we're gonna dig ourselves out of it and keep going. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, John Soricelli. Thank you, brother. I love you, man.
Love you guys. You're welcome.
Peace out.